The Bible warns, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever a man sows, that he will also reap." Diseases, ailments, and early deaths caused by consuming harmful items can take years to set in, and many of these lifestyle diseases can even be transferred down to our innocent offspring. The good news is, if we change our diet, our body's cells can miraculously heal and repair themselves. But the sooner we make these changes, the better. Did Christians in the New Testament also avoid eating unclean meats? Peter received a vision with all kinds of creatures being lowered on a blanket, and he heard a voice that said, "Kill and eat." Carefully notice Peter's response. But Peter said, "Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything common or unclean." You see, Peter, living after the time of Jesus' resurrection, understood the Bible teaching that we are not to eat meats that are unclean. So why was Peter told to kill and eat? We see the answer in Acts 10:28. "God has shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean." The dream was not about eating meat. The purpose of this dream was to show Peter that the Gentiles, or non-Jews, should not be considered unclean. Some sincere Christians quote 1 Timothy 4:3-4. "For every creature of God is good, and nothing is to be refused if it is received with thanksgiving." Is this verse really saying that we can eat anything? Skunks, rats, swine, or anything we want? Not at all. In Paul's day, it was common for meat to be sacrificed to idols. Referring to this, another verse says, "Eat whatever is sold in the meat markets, asking no questions for conscience sake." In other words, the meat did not become evil even if it was sacrificed to idols. So when 1 Timothy 4:3 mentions that every creature of God is good and nothing is to be refused if received with thanksgiving, it is referring to meat that has been sacrificed to idols, not to unclean meats that God has already forbidden. The Bible does not contradict itself. Romans 14 is a similar passage, also referring to meat sacrificed to idols. If there were any doubts remaining on whether eating pork and other unclean meats is a sin, this next verse makes it crystal clear. Referring to the future coming of Jesus, Isaiah says, "Behold, the Lord will come with fire, and by his sword the Lord will judge all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many, those who sanctify themselves and purify themselves, eating swine's flesh and the abomination, and the mouse shall be consumed together." While this verse may be strong, we must be clear on how serious this issue is to God. Those who continue to eat the foods that God has declared to be unclean will be destroyed at his second coming.